You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show. News, gossip, celebrity interviews with limited knowledge and accuracy in sports and politics. And now, your host, celebrity publicist Domenick Nati.
That's right. It's Friday, and it is time for the Domenick Nati Show on Intellectual Radio in Chicago and iHeartRadio. Well, we've got another good one for you today. Today's guest is Whoopi Goldberg. Yes! Whoopi Goldberg is our special guest today, and it was a very interesting one. Now, don't blink in this interview because you will miss it. We had a little issue with some communication for this guest. As you know, we have a celebrity guest every week. This week, we were very excited about, I told you about this last week, that Whoopi was going to be our guest. Now, this interview happened this past Monday. And every day, Monday, this interview has been in the press. Now, you would not normally think that would be the case because the interview only lasted 2 minutes. Yeah, that's right. We had a 2-minute conversation, and then I was hung up on, which is a first on the Domenick Nati Show. We've had some people dodge our questions. We've had publicists interrupt before. We've had people phone and say no comment. That all we understand. I have never been hung up on before, but now I have by Whoopi Goldberg. So let me explain a little bit because you may have already seen this. We took the interview in its raw format and uploaded it to our YouTube channel. And after we did that, it was picked up by a lot of people in the press. The biggest one that I saw was it was on Fox on TV, nationwide on a show called Page 6 TV. Page 6 TV is put on by the New York Post. So this interview was in a lot of different media places, one of them being the New York Post. And it was also on TV. A friend of mine saw it, I think it was 7 p.m. on Wednesday is when it aired. And they reached out to me for a comment. I did talk to them about the interview. And then they mentioned it. They did a very nice piece. So definitely shout out to Page 6 TV and Fox for really reaching out to me and hearing my side of the story. So here is what happened. We had the interview set up for Monday, and the publicist called me. I got on the phone, and then about 2 seconds before the phone was connected with Whoopi, she said, "This is about her holiday sweaters." So I said, okay. And I had no idea that Whoopi Goldberg sold holiday sweaters. And I had no idea that that's what they were expecting me to talk about. I had a bunch of questions about hot topics that's going on around the country and in the news. And of course, Whoopi is on TV every day discussing hot topics. So I just wanted to talk with her about a lot of the same things that she talks about on The View. So I heard her say she wants to talk about sweaters, so I start the interview by asking for a drop for the show, which you will hear, and then I started asking questions about these sweaters, which I knew nothing about. So I asked her about that, and then I moved on into some of the interview questions that I had prepared. At that point, I was cut off. Whoopi answered my first question, and then she hung up on me. So that is what happened. Now, again, you may have already seen this on Fox or in the press, because there's a lot of news articles written about it. So it's very short. What I am going to do is I am going to play the interview for you. You get to hear it. And then when we come back, because it's not enough for a full show, it's only 2 minutes. When we come back, I'm going to read to you some of the articles that were written about this interview. So keep it here. And we'll be right back with a very brief interview with Whoopi Goldberg right after this awkward drop from Bill Cosby.
5, 4, 3, 2, go.
This is Bill Cosby, and you're
not. No, you're not Bill Cosby.
Oh, you're Bill Cosby.
Yes, I am.
And this is the best radio show.
Good for you.
What?
No, what do you want?
I was wanting you to say you're Bill Cosby, because that in your voice to prove that you've actually been on the show.
Why would they not believe that I was on the show after you played a tape of me?
I guess
help me out.
Other radio shows do this, and we're trying to compete with them by getting a big name.
Well, you have that. You have Bill Cosby, and I am a big name.
Anyway, Bill's a big fan of the show.
Yes, I am.
Right. He's listening.
And you know why? So far, this is the only program I've listened to. Just the one with me on it.
Right. That's the only one.
That's why it's my favorite.
So if Bill's listening, you should be too.
And my name is Bill Cosby, and I approve this message.
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
Whoopi, you're on with Domenick.
Hi, Domenick.
Hey, Whoopi, how you doing? Hey, do you mind doing a quick drop for the show? Just like, hey, this is Whoopi Goldberg, and you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show.
Hey, this is Whoopi Goldberg, and you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show.
Awesome. Okay, welcome back to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio in Chicago. I have been telling you about our special guest, and the time has come. He is the greatest woman in all of Hollywood. Whoopi Goldberg is on the phone with us. Whoopi, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, Domenick. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah, I'd like to just jump into some questions. First of all, can you tell me a little bit about the holiday sweaters that you just announced?
Yeah, they're my second collection. They're as silly and wonderful as they were last year, but now they fit better. You can buy them at Zappos, and they're $89, and they're wonderful, and they come in all kinds of sizes, and they're fun. They're meant to make you smile.
Awesome. Okay, and then do you have some new designs this year that you didn't have in the previous years?
Yeah, Baby Black Santa, which is a little black Santa with a beard and a diaper. There's all kinds of things. You have to look at them. There's the kissing Santettes, and it's a zip up with when you zip it up. Last year it was the kissing Santas. When you zip them up, they kissed each other. Same with the Santettes. This year we have hoodies. We have sweaters with pockets. We just have all kinds of stuff and hope that people really have a good time with them.
Obviously, sexual harassment in Hollywood is a hot topic right now. Have you ever experienced sexual harassment in your career? No.
No.
Okay.
Domenick, I'm just going to jump in and let you know we're going to focus on the ugly sweaters. I mean, sorry, not that, with her. Focus on her sweater line, please, as I warned you before the call.
Okay, I can't talk about anything else like going on right now?
Yeah.
Are you there? Hello?
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNattyShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
And we're back. Domenick Nati Show, Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio. That was our exclusive interview with Whoopi Goldberg. Yes! What did you guys think? Huh? Yeah, we got a lot of topics discussed. Her sweaters, and she has never been sexually harassed. And that was it. So you guys now got to hear it for yourself if you have not already. And I want to talk about this for a little bit because it is important. Number one, there was a lot of comments written on Facebook and social media. I read as many as I could. I know that some people were upset with me. Some people were upset with Whoopi. Honestly, it seemed like more people were irritated that Whoopi didn't answer the question because she is always so outspoken on The View. A lot of people also questioned my motives as to why I didn't stick to the topics that the publicist told me to discuss. I'm being totally honest with you. I looked through all the emails that we had to set up this interview with our producers and the team, and they all showed me the emails. There was no mention of speaking about the holiday sweaters. There was no guidelines to this interview. It was just that she was going to come on the show, the date and the time, and that was honestly it. So I did not know that was what the interview was supposed to be about, so I prepared questions to talk about pop culture and different topics that are going on in Hollywood, which is what they do on The View. So I thought that was a good idea. Second of all, I am friends with her. Well, I was in contact for many years with her business partner who helped set up this interview, and I appreciate all the work that her team did, and I have no ill feelings towards Whoopi or her team. I just honestly was not given the information. So that is why this whole thing happened. So I really hope that there's no ill feelings towards me. I was not doing this as a publicity stunt. I just did not have the information. Now, having said that, thank you all for your comments. A lot of people did question why I went off of the topics that were discussed. They honestly were not given to me beforehand. So that is why I did that. And another thing is, Whoopi in the press is probably, in my opinion, she's getting way too much backlash for this. Now, there was a lot of articles in the press written about this. I can't go through them all. I'm just going to read a couple to you that I thought were pretty extreme and passionate, I would say. Not extreme, maybe just passionate about the fact that Whoopi would not answer these questions. So this first one is TamaraTattles.com, which is a gossip website for entertainment news. And also, I've known this website for a few months now, and they mention here that they're fans of the show, so I really appreciate it. But this really hit home with the senior editor of this website, so I wanted to read it to you. Headline is, "Our friends at the Domenick Nati Show interviewed Whoopi Goldberg, and things go terribly wrong." Whoopi Goldberg was on the Domenick Nati Show to promote her Christmas sweater line. It's a rough cut where he asked her to give a bite to him promoting the show. She gives the site name saying, "This is Whoopi Goldberg on the Domenick Nati Show." He asks her about her Christmas sweaters, and she gives some information on them. Then he brings up a hot topic. He mentions all the Hollywood men that have been exposed as sexual predators. He asks Whoopi if she has ever been in type situation. Her PR person, who is also on the line, tells him to stick to the sweaters. Whoopi appears to hang up at that point. After this, the editor goes into the fact that she has been sexually assaulted and also believes that Whoopi has been too and is not being open about it. She ends this article with, here's what happened on that interview. Maybe she will mention it on The View, but I doubt it. I do think that she should stop being silent, though. I wish Whoopi would get to that point. I don't know why we continue to defend predators, but we do. So in this story, the editor mentions that she has been sexually assaulted many times and also believes Whoopi is and being silent. Now, I appreciate the transparency of this editor. I do not know if Whoopi Goldberg has been sexually assaulted or harassed. I was just asking her if that, because it's so common and it's been talked about so much, I was wondering if that has happened to her and if she was wanting to come forward with that. So I have no problem with people writing articles. I appreciate that. I just want to say that I was not accusing Whoopi of being sexually harassed. It was a legitimate question, yes or no. She said no. So I was going to move on had I had the chance. Next article is the Horn News. I have never heard of this. It actually has about 500,000 followers on Facebook. It seems to be really popular. It's very conservative, and they a little too far, in my opinion, towards Whoopi in their publication about this. And the headline reads, "Liberal celeb has nasty meltdown live on the air." Liberal celeb Whoopi Goldberg has made headlines once again, and not for a good reason. The View host held an interview with iHeart's Domenick Nati earlier this week. It did not go as planned. Nati asked Whoopi, "Have you ever experienced sexual harassment in your career?" "No, honey," she said crudely. In a surprised tone, Nati said, "No, ? She quickly responded again with a passive-aggressive no, which has critics wondering, what is she trying to hide? Since the recent outcry of sexual harassment allegations in Hollywood, women throughout the industry have voiced their opinions on the allegations that even shared their own Me Too stories. So why is Whoopi acting this way? Well, her publicist made it clear that they were only doing the interview to promote her ugly Christmas sweaters. Yes, Whoopi, they're called ugly Christmas sweaters, not holiday sweaters. Ironically, her publicist even made the mistake of saying ugly, which is a word that Goldberg does not like to hear about her designs. Domenick, ? Domenick, ? I'm just going to jump in and let you know that we're going to focus on the ugly sweaters. I'm sorry, sweaters. Focus on her sweater line, please, screamed the publicist. This meltdown did not take well with critics. The radio host even said he was extremely disappointed and confused since she was so outspoken on The View. He thought she could answer his questions because she was an open book. He also claims there are no guidelines set for the interview beforehand. He claims he did not even know the interview was about the sweater line. Unfortunately for Domenick Nati, he was another victim of this liberal celeb's outbursts. And as for Whoopi, weren't you supposed to move to a different country if Trump got elected? Well, it has been a year, and Americans are still tired of hearing from you. Pack up and leave. Okay, so that was another article by the Horn News. Seems to be very conservative and anti-liberal. And again, the reason that I'm reading this is not because I am in agreement with these publications. I just want to say I was not trying to accuse Whoopi of anything. I also don't feel like she was nasty to me. I don't feel like she was hiding something. I don't feel like she had a meltdown. Some of these things have just gotten a little bit out of line for me. So I just wanted to say this to you, that is not my intention, it is not my belief, but it is the editors and the press's right to speak about this how they see it. Perhaps I'm right, perhaps I'm wrong. But again, I've talked to a lot of people have contacted me, even like friends and fans of people writing in and sending messages. And a lot of people felt the way I do is that I don't think Whoopi had a problem with me. I think the publicist just jumped in because she felt like she was supposed to. But Whoopi herself, I don't think was really upset with my question. I guess that's up to everyone to decide for themselves, since I'm probably not going to get to speak with her again. But a lot of people that I've heard felt like and it was a legitimate question and something that they could see her answering, and she did. She didn't seem very irritated with me, but I understand that's a publicist's job. I am a publicist, to protect your clients, and that's what they felt like they were doing. So I have no hard feelings, and as I said to Page 6 TV, and as was reported on Fox, I would be willing to interview her again, and if there are parameters, I would just need to know beforehand. So that invitation is always open. It has been quite a week. This is quite a different show for us. I wanted to get all the information out there for just a small, short 2-minute interview, which has seemed to have gone viral and taken a shape of its own. And thank you to everyone who wrote about the interview, even if I felt like some of it was a little too extreme, but I appreciate everyone's freedom of speech to view things the way that they see it. And that is what this show is all about, giving people a voice and giving people something to talk about. So I don't know who is going to be our guest next week. Hopefully people will still keep talking to me, because I do love talking to celebrities. I do love to promote. And hey, go out and buy a holiday sweater from Whoopi Goldberg at Zappos.com. I'm still going to do what I said I would. I'm going to promote the sweaters. They are $89. So I don't know. Some people are surprised at that price point. But Whoopi, thank you for being on the show. I'm sorry the way that it turned out. And the invitation is open if you want to have another conversation. So I thank everyone in the press that has covered. I thank you all of the listeners that have seen and heard this, that have written in your comments. I hope everybody's not mad at me, because I love you all. And I hope you have a good weekend. And we will see you next Friday on the Domenick Nati Show. We'll see you next week.